have, as of now, we all have your permission for that through the registration list. So we will start with a few introductions, and then we'll have a Q&A session. But please keep yourself muted for the first part, where we introduce you the panel and the projects a little bit. You could rename yourself and add your affiliation or name in your organization you represent into your name to make it easier for us to see. And during the Q&A, or even before, you can start using the chat, and you can write your questions already when you are hearing the presentations, and then we will address them when we come to the Q&A session. So far, we expect the event to be wrapped up in an hour, hopefully, depending on how many good questions, of course, we'll have. And I think that would be it. In case of any technical problem, you can reach out to me through email or through Zoom chat directly. And yeah, I guess that's it. On that note, I would like to invite Matteo Bocci to be the moderator of this event. Matteo, over to you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Pinar. Thank you, everyone, for joining this Monday morning of July. We all been working hard collectively, so it's great that you show up still in large number. We have under 50 reservations. Let's see how many join in practice, but we're already over 70, so that's very good. So thanks a lot. The idea here is to give kind of an official kickoff, but also some explanation of what the Black Sea Accelerator means, why we do it, what it will be, and how you or other practitioners in the region will benefit from it. I think the audience is a mix of beneficiary and maybe partners that might disseminate further this initiative. So we welcome, in the end, questions from all of you, depending on your needs or your doubts. The idea is that we have half an hour-ish panel discussion, and then we leave the floor open, so do not hesitate. There's no bad questions, as they say, so I'm sure you will all be great. So without much ado, so I'm now chairing. I will have myself a brief presentation, but now I'm chairing the discussion. We have basically two slots. Of the first one kind of 15 minutes, and the other ones same wise, we will see. The first lot is really an introduction, and really we want to know what the Bridge Black Sea and the DOORS project are. Many of you would know them, of course, but just in case. But most importantly, we want to know why the Black Sea Accelerator fits within these two projects. We know that the two projects are implementing the strategic research and innovation agenda for the Black Sea, and really there's a great need now for upscaling of sustainable business and innovative business initiatives. So for those, it will be Baris Salihoglu. Metu is in charge of the Bridge Black Sea project, so he's very well positioned to explain that. And also we will have Irina Stanciu that will explain what DOORS project is, and also what the accelerator will, how it fits within that. Then we give the floor to Catherine Frideres. She's from Blue Invest. Blue Invest is the initiative for sustainable investment in the blue economy in Europe. So within the EU, she will mention, but also interested in exploring synergies, I guess, with the neighboring countries to some extent. And then we will be myself, Matteo Bocci, and Eleni Manosiadi from DOORS that will provide more details in the accelerator, what it is, how it works, which are the main deadlines, and stuff like that. So sounds like a lot, so we better start. So I give the floor to Baris. Baris, please let us know why this accelerator, what is the Bridge Black Sea, and why we're all here together today.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Matteo, Pinar. I hope you all can see my screen in full.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Welcome, everyone. It's great to see such a turnout today, and this great interest. And I think it's an important step today, important for the region to support business, basically knowledge-based business. And I think that's what these two projects, Bridge and DOORS, will be doing. And today I will be very briefly telling you what Bridge Black Sea project is about and how it's supporting the accelerator. And at the end, I will take just a few minutes of yours, and I will tell you about the other efforts in the Black Sea, and I will tell you about the implementation plan. And first of all, to start with, just briefly how we got here. I mean, our partners, of course, know this, but there are many other people that are new to what we are doing here. And the whole Black Sea strategic research innovation agenda has started around 5 years ago with great enthusiasm from all the Black Sea countries and a great support from the Black Sea Commission. And the first step was to launch the Burgas vision paper, which has paved our route and our ideals. And then we built the Black Sea Strategic Research and Innovation Agenda on top of that. And there were 4 pillars of this agenda. And the first one was on knowledge, and the second one was on blue economy. And this Blue Accelerator today that we will be talking of is mainly, it stemmed from this agenda and this pillar of the agenda. And the other 2 pillars were on supporting key infrastructures, and the other one was on education and capacity building. And the 2 projects, DOORS and Bridge, the ideas were from the strategic research agenda. So the European Commission has launched certain calls, and they benefited from our Syria and the ideas there. And now with these 2 projects, we are basically addressing the priorities there. And when it comes to Bridge, now one of our nodes is on Blue Growth Incubators, as you see here. And we have a dedicated action here on the accelerator. And the main concept of Bridge is to support the ecosystem services in the Black Sea in a sustainable way. So to achieve this, first of all, our first node is on understanding the ecosystem and its limit. And then under the second node, we assess which services these ecosystems provide and what are the priorities for the region. And again, from benefiting from the service dynamics and the knowledge that we develop different scenarios, for example, different models, and how climate will change, how different stressors will change, and how different services will act under these different stressors, because it's very important for different sectors to know these limitations, and based on that, they can only develop new ideas, new business models, new solutions. And one of our aims in Bridge is also to benefit from the new technologies in full extent. While writing of the project at that time, Industry 4.0 represented the cutting edge technologies at that time. Of course, today we are beyond that, but we are considering these, and we are considering these in our high-tech summits, in our living labs, for example. And these all merge under Work Package 7 of Bridge, and there we are defining how we can support new business models. If you go to our webpage, you can see more detailed, find more detailed information on that. But Bridge also built on different pilot sites in different countries. And there we are carrying out both observations, but also living labs took place here, where different stakeholders come together and define the priorities. And Matteo and Irina will tell you how our accelerator will work. But very briefly, we are here aiming to translate science into future business opportunities. Of course, while doing this, we consider the principles of sustainable blue economy and circular blue economy, but the ideas here should be innovative. And the main target group, of course, is the Black Sea, the companies that will support the Black Sea-based applications, not only companies, but individual organizations, but it's also open to non-regional community as well. And as I said, we hope to support emerging solutions that are eligible to a certain technology level, but also established market-ready ideas will be considered and supported here. And the main basis of this accelerator is built on years of work. And we have held the Blue Economy High Tech Summit, and there we have defined different priorities, ideas, and living labs, as I told you, is being organized in all the pilot sites, and feedback from panels members and from the DOORS project, where we will hear from the DOORS project representative in a minute, is also considered. And lastly, I would like to tell you about what's next in the Black Sea. So based on the strategic research innovation agenda, now as the Black Sea Connect project, we have developed the implementation plan. So this implementation plan considers different teams, and under these teams, we have defined different joint actions, and these joint actions are selected so they are immediately implementable, and this also supports European Commission and the nations and guide them towards new projects and towards new funding mechanisms are being developed, co-funding mechanisms to support these teams and the joint actions underneath them. So very quickly, the first team was on digital twin of the Black Sea, so merging available models with new models that merge artificial intelligence with ocean models, and on top we aim to develop decision support tools here. And the second one, although both Bridge and DOORS are considering multiple stressors, there are many more to consider, is to understand these effects. The third one on climate effects and the unique features of the Black Sea. And the second pillar, as I told you, is on blue economy. So this may be highly interesting for you. So under this, we had actually 5 teams. And the first one is on ecosystem-based fisheries and high-tech aqua and mariculture. So finding new methodologies for ecosystem-based fisheries, going beyond sustainable fisheries, and new ideas for new protein sources. And the fifth one is on analyzing the potentials on blue biotech in the Black Sea. Sixth one is on health and safety for the Black Sea coast. The other one is on marine litter, and the other one is on marine renewable energy. And when we come to pillar 3, here we had teams on new observational systems, open innovation, open data, Black Sea heritage, and different joint actions here were highly supported by different countries. And the last pillar is on developing innovative approaches to connect scientists, policy, industry, and supporting blue skills and capacity building. So while developing all these ideas in the Black Sea Strategic Research Innovation and Agenda, and now the implementation plan, where Bridge and DOORS are already supporting this implementation plan, we have considered different policy landscapes. For example, the ideals from the Paris Agreement, or from the IPCC reports, or European Green Deal and EU missions were all considered, and there are new support mechanisms on research under Sustainable Blue Economy Partnership, for example. All these the priorities of this initiatives and funding ideals were considered here while we were developing the implementation plan. And as I said, Bridge and DOORS are already supporting this, and this accelerator is now one step forward. And we are, as I said, collaborating closely with DOORS, but now Blue Invest, it's an EU initiative supporting sustainable investments, will be supporting our accelerator, because under the two projects, maybe direct funding will be limited, but trust me, there are many opportunities that you can benefit. So that's how these two projects will support you, will guide you. And we are also planning to develop new ideas for the future and support you with co-funding mechanisms as well. And an important job that we need to achieve is to implement the Common Maritime Agenda in the Black Sea as well. And with this implementation plan and together with all the stakeholders, we are working hard towards this as well. So here I would like to thank you and pass the floor back to Matthew.
Thanks a lot, Baris, also for getting a bit beyond just the bridge and providing a frame for what we're doing here. And there's already a lot of links to DOORS, of course, but also Blue Invest and the Common Maritime Agenda. So I then invite Irina Stanciu to provide, from Geocomar, to provide a short overview also of the DOORS project, so that then we can move ahead with the further presentation. Thanks a lot. Irina, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here introducing the DOORS project.
Can you maybe put your full screen slides? So
yeah, I'm trying. So
thanks a lot.
So I am Irina Stanciu. I am scientific researcher at the Romanian National Institute of Marine Geology and Geoecology, Geocomar. And I am connected with the DOORS project since it was the project proposal. And now I am working in close collaboration with work package 6 co-leaders, Eleni and Jos, and as well as with Adrian Stănică, the DOORS project coordinator. The DOORS project, which stands for Developing Optimal and Open Research Support for the Black Sea, has started in June 2021 for a 4-year duration. It is a research and innovation action under EU Horizon 2020 program, following the Black Sea SRIA development initiated in 2017 by the GRTD. The Burgas Vision paper launched in May 2018, the official launch of SRIA in May 2019 at Bucharest, and this year launch of the Black Sea SRIA implementation plan at Brussels at the European Parliament. DOORS project aims to make operational the Black Sea SRIA, support the successful blue growth implementation in the Black Sea region, and contribute to a healthy, productive, and resilient Black Sea. And in order to reach these goals, all 10 DOORS work packages are linked to 3 interconnected programs of the project. The System of Systems represents a platform bringing together in situ Earth observation and model data on the Black Sea, giving access to physical, geological, chemical, and biological parameters of the Black Sea. And then the Blue Growth Accelerator aims to identify sectors for innovation, providing professional support to unlock their potential, which in the end aims to facilitate the development of blue growth sectors. The Knowledge Transfer and Training program is aiming to share the best practice and knowledge for capacity building in the Black Sea region. All in all, DOORS has 4 specific objectives. First is to create harmonized set of methodologies for data acquisition for a coordinated regional approach. It is based on existing best practices, and it will deliver harmonized methodologies for sampling, measurement, analysis, and modeling, which will enable also the use of fair, compliant data. And altogether are crucial for the system of systems. The second objective is to integrate interdisciplinary scientific knowledge in order to address the impacts of human-induced activities and climate change as input needed to effectively implement policies in the Black Sea. And this will be achieved by developing the system of systems for the Black Sea, which will enable access to the data, will support the better understanding of the complex composition and dynamics of the human-induced impacts and climate change from river mouths to the deeper sea. The third objective is to realize ecosystem services and blue growth sector's potential and provide support for entrepreneurship. And with respect to this objective, working in close collaboration with Bridge Black Sea, DOORS project and Bridge Black Sea will deliver a Blue Growth Accelerator, which will promote opportunities for sustainable business development in blue economy sectors. The Blue Growth Accelerator will promote synergies, will organize trainings and mentoring schemes and facilitate access to investors to practically support growth and job creation. The fourth objective of the DOORS project is to bring the Black Sea environment closer to society. And this will be carried out within the knowledge transfer and training program, which support education, exchange of use of scientific knowledge, and will support the creation of a new generation of professionals, and also will empower citizens. And thank you for your attention. If you have questions, I will answer in chat or here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot to you, Irina, for being to the point and providing this overview of also DOORS Black Sea. Then, yeah, we will address the question all together at the end. So we discussed about accelerator now, and accelerator are in fact means to or tools to speed up the commercialization of enterprise and solutions, and therefore being able to address sustainable investment and achieve further support from investors. So makes a lot of sense to see the point of view of investors here. So if Catherine, you're still with us, because now your video blanked, but I guess you're still there. So please feel free to share the screen and introduce a bit Blue Invest and see how we can cooperate. Unless you had an issue with the connection, which might be the case, it seems. Let's see a second, or we go straight to the accelerator and we hear from investor later on. Yeah, Pinar, if you can check with Catherine, I think I will start the presentation. So yeah. Okay, so I share my screen. Okay, so you can see it, I guess, right? Yeah, can you confirm? Yeah, okay. So the Black Sea Accelerator, first of all, it is accelerator, of course, for a sustainable blue economy, but we discussed about this title and name, and we really want to put the focus on the Black Sea, because we think that, and we know that the Black Sea has a huge amount of potential, and there's really a lot happening at the local level and across the region, including on supporting enterprise innovation, technology, and SMEs. So we think that this initiative really fills a gap Then, of course, we want to talk about sustainable blue economy, but this will be discussed in my presentation. So first of all, why a sustainable blue economy accelerator, and what is it for? Baris touched upon this 4.0 idea and the idea of IT and data, but really, I mean, of course, IT and technology is important. Here, we really want to have a large scope in the sense that we want to look at technology and innovation, but also business model that use technology. Doesn't necessarily have to be top-notch technology. It might be technology that works, function, but hasn't been used still in the blue economy and provides new innovation and business model. Then the overall approach is really leverage the potential for a sustainable blue economy. How to do so? By adopting innovation. Again, technologies, but mainly largely business models. So we want a new service, new approach, new ventures and enterprises in the sector and in the region. And then upscaling solutions. So we want to, I mean, of course, the closer you are as a potential beneficiary or applicant to the commercialization, the better. But we want to stay relatively large so that we want to really help scaling up smart, circular, green, innovative solutions. And overall, the ambition is promote entrepreneurship culture and capacity, and also make the case for the bankability of a sustainable blue economy in the Black Sea overall. So the aim of the Black Sea Accelerator is really to translate science into future business opportunity, future meaning really tomorrow, as soon as possible. Then it's important that those eligible, so applicants for the Black Sea Accelerator are obviously mainly those individuals and organizations, SMEs, universities, you name it, that are focused in the Black Sea, which means, of course, the 3 and CMA signatory country, with the exception of Russia, for obvious reason. And but also we thought it was interesting to leave a door open or construct a bridge to keep the two metaphor of the names for non-Black Sea applicants, because we really thought it would be interesting to have Europeans or international solution provider in the blue economy that are interested in entering the Black Sea market. Then we can help with that. So this is an important also message if you want to share to potential interested parties. Some of you are from, including myself, are not from the Black Sea, but we can really share this information with our constituencies, our friends and colleagues and partners. Then solutions, what we support. We support solutions for a sustainable economy in the Black Sea that we understood, established, of course, but also emerging solutions. So in terms of technology readiness level, TRL, the jargon is like 4 and above. But I mean, of course, if you have great ideas that are a little earlier, we're very happy to support. The basis for our support, as mentioned already by Baris, have been the discussion held at the last edition last year, the Blue Economy High-Tech Summit for the Black Sea. Very interesting discussion held in Varna, but also the Living Lab organized in the pilot site for Bridge, and also importantly, the discussion and inputs from the panel's members, and also in the cooperation with those. You see a list on the right side of the screen of the sector supported. It's indicative because we're really open, but these are already quite large. So all the main sectors, including observation and monitoring, so ocean and coastal and marine observation and monitoring, so all the tools related to that, drones and in underwater air, etc. Ports, transports and logistics, including shipbuilding and reconstruction, which is an important element of the value chain, fisheries and aquaculture, tourism and recreational activities, including underwater heritage, as mentioned by Baris from Austria. Importantly, blue biotechs and related sectors and solutions, but also more emerging ones, such as sustainable renewable energy. I mean, we know how important it is to boost the marine sustainable renewable energy sector. So any solution in this area is very welcome. And then nature-based services and solutions, including restoration on ecosystem, etc., how that will support a functioning environment for future sustainable exploitation. So all of those and more are area and service we support. There is a list in the website, both for Bridge and for DOORS. In the website for the Black Sea Accelerator, you find more details on all of them. But then why? So we saw the what, we saw the what we want to achieve, what we actually look for. Why would you apply? So, or why partners and colleagues and friends will want to apply? What should you say to them? Well, there are concrete support in terms of mentoring and support to really understand and fine-tune the application, understand the market, and really strengthen the overall business model. We can bring feedback from customer and users. We have a wide network of practitioners in the Black Sea, but also internationally. I think we want to bring and tap on this relation and having some showcase on some discussion at the high level with those practitioners, including possibly investors, but also clusters and practitioners in the sectors. We help, which is very important for more mature solution. We can support a lot in developing skills for pitching and addressing investors, or be able to speak their language to get money on board. And then overall, we want to really create a stronger network in the Black Sea of innovator and business and also investors, so that we can really validate your idea and make it a successful business. We look at impact first in a way, so we really want to start from the relevance of the solutions proposed in your application, based on the way in which they address area of relevance, both in terms of sectors, but also challenges of relevance for the Black Sea, looking at the CMA, looking at SRIA, and also looking at the input we collected through this project. We look at the quality of solution, of course. We look at team motivation, the relevance and feasibility, the scalability, and else. But we really want to support you to get stronger in all those points potentially. Then this is also very important. So what we offer concretely, there are 5 lines of support basically. So expert support, namely that either through our internal networks or by additional expert that we can involve, we can really support your market analysis, strengthen the service you offer, really have a better, stronger, more solid overall business idea and business model. We can help with startup support, so the second one, which really looks at strengthening the business model and all these elements that are more related to the sound making of business. So the first expert support is more on the technical and the market analysis. The second one is really like business related. And the third one, facilitating financing and investment. It's really helping for the pitching, engaging, understanding what investors want to hear, what they don't want to hear. How do you really want to shape your message to get through and be attractive and potentially gain public, but mostly private investment. The last one, the fourth one, is really for non-Black Sea applicant, but can also be relevant for Black Sea, whether you have some international partners that you really want to bring in the Black Sea, or simply because you are an international partner and you want to enter the Black Sea. This is a line of service that we offer to really access the market. So we really rely on you as applicants or your colleagues, net partners, and your network as potential applicants to indicate one or more of these areas where you really want to be supported. So it's really based on your needs. We're all grown up and professional, so we want to hear from you what you which support you want to have. Maybe, sorry, few steps, and then I'm basically done. It's been launched in end of May, early June, although this is the official launch. The closing is end of October, so it will be the first round of support. We think between November and April-ish is where we really deliver the support. So we want to screen, have some understanding of what you need, and then run it. Because then around April, May, we will have the second round of the high-tech summit where we want to showcase and discuss advancement, and maybe even having a symbolic award for those performing better, for the better idea, etc. So that's basically it. And then after the ITEC summit, so from May, June next year, as Bridge, we will launch the second call. The cooperation for now is on the first call with DOORS, and then close it and see what lesson has been drawn, how we can improve, and how we can support the excellent business that we attract. I think mainly this is it. These are again the few head up for deadlines. Again, if you look at the link that I will show after this, but also you have already in the chat, I'm sure the DOORS colleague will also share their own link. You will find all these details and also the link for apply, which is a joint application. So information goes in parallel from the two projects, but really the process and the support is joint. We also are bringing on board relevant enabler or to then become the panelist for assessing the relevance of the application we receive, but also mostly for looking at these symbolic awards later on. So we are in contact and we're establishing further contact with the maritime cluster in the Black Sea and internationally, technological partners, of course, from the project, but not only, development and innovation agencies across the country. So really also we ask them to spread the news, but also to bring on board when we want to support and award the best solution. And of course, financing initiatives globally as Blue Invest. Let's see if Catherine is back. I think I'm done. This is the link and the page under the Bridge Black Sea project, but I leave the floor to Eleni so she can also provide additional information when it comes to DOORS and the support of DOORS to this accelerator.
Yes, thanks, Matteo.
Thanks a lot. Please, Eleni, let me just get out of here and the floor is yours. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, Catherine, because there was some issue, I think we finished this and then we let you wrap up if you don't mind. Sorry.
Yes, no worries. No, I'm sorry. It was the technical issue was on my side, but I'm really excited to hear from Eleni as well. So.
It's good, you know, it's even better to have you wrapping up and then we leave the floor to Q&A. So please, Eleni, and then Blue Invest.
Sure. Can you all see my screen now? Okay. So hello everyone, good morning. I'm so happy to be here with all of you today. I'm Eleni Manousiadi and I work for Canton Management Consultants as a senior consultant, and I am involved in DOORS project. I am co-leading the work package that is responsible for developing the accelerator. So, as previously mentioned by my colleagues, our work is focused on the development and the creation of the Black Sea Accelerator, which will practically and systematically support the sustainable development of businesses in Black Sea blue economy sectors and the effective development of the circular economy in the Black Sea coastal communities. So this plan will be achieved by first identifying all the opportunities and the potential entrepreneurs that will exploit them, then we will enable these entrepreneurs to exploit these opportunities by training and facilitating their access to funding and investment opportunities. And then, of course, we want to promote the entrepreneurial culture and decrease the capacity for blue innovation in the region. The impact of the Black Sea Accelerator is not to be neglected. The accelerator is a set of activities tailored to support business creation, marine and maritime innovation, and development of new marine-based technologies for the sustainable growth in the region. Submitting an application to the accelerator will enable the effective exploitation and exchange of the research results, generating ideas and startups and engaging entrepreneurs in a new way of thinking, basically. As previously mentioned by Baris and Irina, the accelerator will advance the Black Sea Common Maritime Agenda and support the practical implementation of the Black Sea's RIA Pillar 2, that is the Black Sea Blue Economy. The priority here is to create a framework basically that will support the creation of companies oriented towards blue and zero polluting circular economy and marine-based technologies, facilitate access to external investors to promote the growth in the sectors, and of course the overall aim is to make the growth in blue economy sectors sustainable even beyond DOORS and bridge. So moving on to the type of services that are being offered, the aim is to improve professional blue skills. Here, our focus will be on entrepreneurship and business management, access to investors and funding opportunities, market and blue economy and innovation potential in the Black Sea. To achieve this, the activities that are planned include tailored training and mentoring of entrepreneurs to bridge the gap between skills offer and demand regarding the innovation and research. And our overarching aim is to create a lasting network of mentors and of entrepreneurs for the exploitation of the blue economy potential and opportunities. Here on this slide, you can find a non-exhaustive list of the training topics that are going to be offered through the accelerator. We will provide support for startups to reach investors by providing model business plans, consultancy services for developing a successful business plans in the context of online sessions with experts, evaluators, giving feedback for improvement. We are providing support for networking with potential investors to prepare also a winning investment presentation, and networking activities to exploit the already existing platforms. We also foresee the provision of expert advice to exploit funding opportunities in the blue economy sectors, building on the results of already existing initiatives. One of the core aims of the accelerator is also to foster the collaboration between the academia and industry for the sustainable development of blue economy sectors in the region. The aim here is to create a network and organize matchmaking events between researchers and entrepreneurs. These matchmaking events will be planned so as to provide the opportunity for researchers, startups to meet, discuss, and exchange the key findings from both projects with entrepreneurs and policymakers. We are also in the process where we are designing a matchmaking digital platform for marine and maritime blue economy activities. The primary target here is to connect businesses and with researchers and investors and analyze the existing solutions to identify potential synergies. The objective of this online interactive platform will be to directly updated by its users, and the aim here is to collect updated information on blue economy actors, including their specialization and fields of activity as a result of the networking activities that have been that I described before. It will include both information on research and the business community to disseminate opportunities for blue growth. So as you can see here, the platform will basically connect businesses seeking investors, investors seeking business deals, and researchers from both projects providing advice. Last but not least, through the accelerator, we want to facilitate the public engagement and investment in the Black Sea. As previously mentioned by Matteo, we will set up the Black Sea Special Interest Group, whose membership will be drawn from influential, mutually minded individuals with a media or philanthropic interest in seeking solutions to address all the climate change impacts in the region. Through this special interest group, where we will engage members of the projects to help facilitate introductions to foundations and institutions' investment opportunities in order to support the environmental and the economic recovery of the region. So building on existing relationships, Lord Jack McConnell, the former First Minister of Scotland, has agreed to chair this group, and work has already begun to identify potential members through existing networks such as the British Telecom, global accounting firm with offices in Bulgaria, Georgia, Ukraine, Romania, and Turkey, the Royal Geographical Society, and the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. The group is being established gradually and will be used to design and co-fund specialist activities, including the public engagement events. All in all, members of this special interest group will serve as ambassadors to help the accelerator reach its goals. It will act as a sounding board, help building advocacy and support to these projects, and attending networks events, and obviously helping identifying new key contacts. So I think I will stop here. I'm very happy to take all your questions, either here on chat or later through our discussion. I am very glad that we are proceeding through this initiative together with the Bridge Black Sea colleagues, and I'm sure that we can all work on this goal, and in order to maximize the impact in the region and practically support the sustainable development of the blue economy sectors in the coastal communities. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thanks a lot to you, Eleni. So, I mean, also to clarify, and this is quite innovative per se. So, the two large projects decided to share and co-work in promoting a single initiative. I'm not even sure it's ever been done. So, we're crazy enough to do it, but we think that this is really important because there's a critical mass there. Of course, some element will be done jointly by the two projects. Some element will be led by the different one. We will also hopefully have soon a very short interactive video explaining all of these and providing more information. Anyway, technology is key, right, Catherine? And technology decided that Blue Invest should close up this first round of presentation. So I leave it to you. We were a little longer than expected, but I think it's good to provide details. So please, Catherine, and let us know about Blue Invest.
Great. Thank you so much, Matteo. And I'm really happy to have had the privilege of being in front of all of you today. I'm also very happy to see 94 people in this meeting, apart from the ones who I'm sure registered interest. We've been working together and really quite closely with Bridge in the Black Sea, with Matteo's team, with the assistance mechanism in the Black Sea since the start of the Blue Invest initiative in 2019. And for those of you who haven't heard of us, we are an EU initiative to boost investment into innovation for the sustainable blue economy. This project is driven, this platform is driven really by DG Maritime and Fish and also SINEA of the European Commission. And we are more like an overlayer because we are dealing with the EU blue economy and particularly the sustainable blue economy. And what we try to do is we support initiatives like this because the feedback that we are receiving from the market, as they say, is that you need more bottom-up initiatives like the accelerator and also the DOORS project. So just a little bit about Blue Invest. So the platform targets 10 sectors that have been identified as having high potential to support green and digital transition. And the features of Blue Invest include a community, which is both a concept and the platform. It includes events that we organize to build up the community and also to showcase feature projects, to match projects to investors. We provide technical assistance to startups and SMEs that have technology readiness level 6 and upwards, and we provide them investment readiness assistance and also fundraising assistance for those who are close to closing a deal with investors. With the new Blue Invest, we've also introduced a capacity building program for investors, and I'll go a little bit into that when I talk about the synergies we have with the Black Sea. We have a project pipeline that features projects that are showcased to investors. So these are the ones that we match because we have assessed them as investment ready. And the project is enabled by a Blue Invest fund and also funds that are launched by investors who are really interested in the blue economy. And this is what we have been doing for the last 4 years. What really is interesting that I want to bring to the table today is that since since Bridge and the assistance mechanism in the Black Sea, since we have been working with them, we've also seen the traction increase when it comes to the participation of both companies and also investors in the sustainable blue economy. Just within the Blue Invest, I'm really pleased to mention as well that it's not just Bulgaria and Romania, which are part of the community, but we also have Georgia and Turkey as well as part of our stakeholders, and also when it comes to investors, as well as some projects in the pipeline. So there are 3 investors that we've actually engaged that are active in the Blue Invest community that come from the Black Sea or have a clear interest in there. And so they are Morningside Hill Capital Management, we have Roca X, and also Sophia Angels Ventures. And then we have our stakeholders, which cover these 4 countries, and I will pass on the slides as well so that you can have them after this call. I just want to now bring up the question of synergies. And so up until this point, because we have been engaging and we've been dealing with both investors and also projects and companies that we've been trying to bring into the fold of the Blue Invest, one thing that I want to mention here is that the feedback that we receive from investors is that they want to have more access to technical expertise that would support their investment decisions, particularly for the Black Sea, because they see this as a high potential area of investment, but they don't have sufficient knowledge about the technologies that would make sense for the Black Sea. They also want to know more about projects that can be scaled up from the Black Sea, so Black Sea innovations that can then be launched in other markets. So this is where the investors are coming from. The second feedback we receive from investors when it comes to the Black Sea specifically is that the projects and startups that approach them often don't have enough capacity to communicate their business operations and also their technologies within the framework of how investors have to report on SFDR, so the Sustainable Finance Directive regulation, and also new regulations that have been launched when it comes to reporting on ESG. And this is something that together, with the accelerator, we want to work on. And so how are we going to do this? Well, for us, the synergy between Blue Invest and also the Black Sea initiatives are quite clear. One is that we now have a place, and we've had a place-based network through which we can channel projects and startups that are still too early for the Blue Invest. And we send them across to the accelerator. And we also accept projects from the accelerator that are ready to be scaled up, ready for investment readiness assistance, and ready for introductions to investors. I think that's the first point. We work very, very closely with the European Investment Fund and the European Investment Bank, particularly when it comes to building capacity training for investors that want to set up dedicated blue funds, also targeting the Black Sea. So this is where a lot of the synergy will also come from. So what we want to say here is that for the businesses that we deal with, having a place-based local network through which to grow their business, being plugged into an active ecosystem really has a lot of value. And that's why I was really happy to hear the presentations, from Irina and from the other colleagues on what the plans are moving forward. So for us, we are planning to organize another Sea Basin webinar dedicated to the Black Sea. And we also plan to organize a thematic workshop at the upcoming CMA conference in Bucharest, Romania. And moving forward, we're really looking forward to working more closely with these initiatives and seeing more traction come from your market. So thank you very much for sharing this space with us.
Thanks a lot to you, Catherine, and yeah, really, glad and excited to collaborate together in the discussion ahead, including the event under CMA in November. So I think we still have time if the audience is interested to hear and address some questions. I think overall we had over 90 people there. I think single user are over 100, so that's quite encouraging. I don't know, how do we want to do that, Pinar? Maybe people can, I think there were a couple of questions. Some were not necessarily directly for the accelerator, like that one on resource management, but yeah, please let us know, and people feel free to, colleagues, feel free to raise your hand for directly addressing that.
Or drop it in the chat. As you said, we had some comments, a very good one regarding the application form in full format. We only have the online format available in both project size, but we can have it as a PDF so that before you apply, before you start the application, you can already see all the questions that you need to answer. So that's a very good point that we will get on right after this meeting. There was another question, I think, about the research and capacity building, but maybe that's not the topic for today. My colleague Özgün already shared some links to Black Sea Syria implementation plan, where we have dedicated a pillar and 2 specific joint actions underneath for the capacity building for young researchers in the Black Sea. So you can refer to that. And I'm checking if there are any more questions or anyone raising their hands.
Yeah, feel free to do. Maybe a couple of comments on my side. Well, okay, we stress, but never enough, the fact that we really want to scale up the sustainable blue economy in the Black Sea. So innovation and investment, are all tailored to that. So generate jobs, incomes, while preserving and protecting the ecosystem. 2, I think another your comment, and George, thanks for commenting that on the full application, also triggered me the fact that we are aiming now at translating some general text in the different language, so that it can also be distributed more clearly. Obviously, the working language will be English because we want to really create this network, but we will see, and that might also be. Linguistic translation might also be in the subtitles of the future short video that we're planning to do. So I don't know if there's any comment questions, so maybe that was so clear enough. I'm sure people will come back to us in case. I'm also trying to have a look through that, but okay, thanks to you, Marika. I think we can stay within the 1 hour, which is also good. So we thank you for that. This is really the launch and the beginning of many other things to comment. Also, there's a question.
Yes.
How do you assess environmental sustainability of the business to support with other work package working on ecosystem to be involved? Okay, this is some volunteering here, I guess. But the idea is that we don't have a full-fledged evaluation of business idea. That will really be, Catherine could nod in, this is one of the key issue for investment as well, like really understanding the full-length impact of their investment. There's a whole taxonomy discussion in the EU. We certainly don't want to enter, at least in this stage. But I think we really can maximize the work we're doing the work on scenarios, the work on needs, the work on Living Lab, Underbridge, the work put forward by DOORS, to really understand what are the needs in terms of priority sector, priority innovation. So we will screen the solution to that, and we reinforce that for sure. We will reinforce the ability, or we aim to do that, reinforcing the ability of applicants to better address in their business model what type of impact they aim at, and how they can monitor that through time.
Also, Matteo, if you allow me, taking into consideration the TRL levels in the proposed solution, right, and following the rules of the Horizon Europe, but also in accordance with the solution provided in its TRL level. This is something that will take
readiness level. Yes, we want to look at scalable solution, but as also mentioned by Catherine, I mean, we are happy here to stay a bit on the earlier side of innovation curve, really to scale up capacity. There was questions reminding the question that's going to be tricky on education part. I think this is the one on resource management, Pinar, or is it another one? Maybe Rodica Barbucha, if you can remind us.
Yeah, I think that's the same question, but maybe Eleni already, maybe she can elaborate the training topics that she referred to already in her presentation. Yeah, this one is specific for marine coastal resource management training. Eleni, you were talking about the training topics that
yes, we are currently we are currently in the process of identifying the training plans, and of course both partners from both projects will be involved in the process, but we will need to actually work on this and identify the needs for training, and not only focusing on the business management, but also on the environmental sustainability component. And we are working on this to come up with a plan during the summer period, right, Matteo?
Yeah. Although we will see the extent to which training goes a bit beyond maybe the scope of this accelerator, but certainly, for example, we, as I mentioned, like monitoring and observation is one of the area where we accept solutions. So we welcome the use of drones or technologies to collect data, share data for purpose of public management, but also for purpose of economic benefit. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a company, in fact, that was collecting data on quality of the sea to be sold to aquaculture practitioner to see really when they want to position their practice. Anyway,
can I just maybe I just wanted to go back a little bit to Clément's question. Yeah. Just from the perspective of Blue Invest, we look at the assessment of environmental sustainability along two dimensions. One is the impact of the technology or the service on a specific industry or a specific group of people. And so when you look at environmental impact, you have some industries and some sectors that are just naturally greener than others. For example, IT or services, they tend to be greener. So when you have a monitoring technology, it's a bit easier. However, the technologies that are more, for example, energy-based, can have a greater environmental impact because these industries are browner. So we take this into consideration when we look at the impact of the technology or the service in itself and where it is meant to, where it targets the impact. The second dimension, which is specific to investors and also to fund managers, is operations. So the business operations of the company, to what extent have you been able to map out in your supply chain where the ESG, for example. So this is part of the conversation that we have with companies, and it's also something that we work closely with our stakeholders, like Bridge, like DOORS, like the assistance mechanism, in order to try to communicate what the needs are, and they are emerging because we also accept that the landscape is not very clearly defined yet.
And maybe building again on this, I mean, this is, I think, part of the ongoing and evolving dialogue between policy and investors and business, because I mean, ultimately, spatial planning and fit regulation, it is an enabler for ensuring that you don't do harm. So I think, you know, we should also get out of the bubble of assuming that investors should do all the job. I mean, there are different players, there are different roles, and the idea here is start having a dialogue. So I think part of the outcome of this accelerator too, and the engagement with initiatives such as Blue Invest, is really try to bring to speak a common language, you know, between actors that not necessarily have a dialogue amongst themselves, and really also making the case for the importance of investment in the Black Sea. It's a big message for policymakers too, so that they need to really understand how to regulate and how to act in a way that attracts sustainable and impact investment rather than being a deterrent. Yeah, I don't know. I think, you know, we'll certainly have a couple of sessions in the next months after summer on this. I think for the time being, that was great. I don't know if any of the other panelists want to share a few words or comments. Otherwise, we can maybe go back to you, Pinar, to give some final information for how to reach us collectively, both Bridge and Doors, if there are any questions for the accelerator.
Yeah, thank you, Matteo. Yeah, maybe that was a lot of information all at once, but you will receive all the presentations and the recordings over the next days. And my colleague again put the email address that you can write to in case of further questions that you may think of later on. This will be monitored by this questions to this address will be monitored by both projects. And you also already have the list, the link for the application itself and the two project websites that actually have the exact same information that you can refer to later on. But again, all this will be packaged and provided to you the next day so that you can read more once you also get to that point. And as George mentioned, we'll also add the full application form so that you already know what you are going to or what you need to answer to apply. You have a bit of time, of course, for the application, but the summer holidays can make it a bit prolonged, so that's why we encourage you to apply as soon as possible after you get yourself familiarized with the procedure and the process. So I think that's all. We can close the meeting if there aren't any final remarks.
No, that's great. Maybe just again, the sooner you apply, the sooner we can also understand how to tailor our services.
Yeah.
And maybe if you're not directly interested or, you know, in the position to apply, if you can spread the word, we'll highly appreciate it.
Exactly.
The translations also that will come to national language will help us disseminate the accelerator to the largest possible audience. So please go ahead and share it with your networks.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Eleni. Okay, thank you all.
Great.
Thank you all for joining.
Have a nice
Thank
week.
you all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.